Hey guys, we're with 16th place winner, Ben. And Ben, what you play today, man?
I play Voiceless Voice.
All right, let's check that deck list out.
Right on. So we'll get started with the normal summons. So you have 3 low. Yeah, this is like the most standard starter of the deck. It's pretty self-explanatory. You should always play 3. And then we play 3 Diviner with the Trias. It came up like one match today where it actually lost me because I drew both these in my opening hand, which kind of sucked. But this is like the only thing that kind of plays into Perulia or Flawless like kind of hard. So like that's obviously not ideal. But it's still just, like such a good starter, and like a lot of people too like. Typically, if you, like before Nadir Story got really popular, the popular play would be if you already had combo with Skull and Low, people would normal this, send this, tribute this, get another Low, and then make IP. But the thing you can do now in the deck is if you can do like Nadir or even the regular combos, you just send this and wait 2 on your opponent's turn. Because it's actually better than like SP because it's a non-targeting effect. And then you trigger this on your opponent's turn to get to another Low. So that's like really powerful. 3 Saphira. I know the trend on this card has been to play like 2 recently. I find 3 is way more necessary in the new format because of Dominance Impulse. So if you draw this with low or any way, or yeah, basically if you draw this with low, which is like not an uncommon hand effect, right? But it plays around Impulse entirely because you won't control any cards when you banish this Ritual Summon. But then also when you do Ritual Summon, you just go channeling 1 low, channeling 2 Skull, so they can't Impulse a low either. So that's like a really good way to play around it. And like she's a pseudo pre-prep, so like that's already super crazy. And then for the ritual names, we played 2 Skull Guardian. Hit me up for another QCR. Yeah, this is just standard 2. Like you should never play 1 because you always want the other target to get out with the Prayer's Graveyard effects, and it's just like the best card to do. And then 1 Pendulum Graph and 1 Saravis. Last format, I was doing 2 of these. But now with Tenpai, in my opinion, like being like one of the 2 best decks, I think it's necessary to main deck this because this cheats out Meteor Burst for you, which is sometimes the win condition, and it also just deals with like random board breakers like Regeki, Dark Hole, stuff like that, which came up a lot today. I played 3 Tenpais today and I 2'd all of them, and this card was like really essential in me being able to do that. So I would definitely recommend this. I do miss the second one of this sometimes, but you just have so many ways to grab it between like Saphira, pre-prep Nadir, like there's just no need to play more than 1. And then speaking of Nadir, we do the Nadir package. So the maximum is the 3 Nadirs. I think, like, it didn't happen today, but I swear I have, like, the worst luck with this card. It's like, I'll have this, and then I'll, like, top deck Maximus. And I was like, okay, that's awful. But good thing is, most games, you can tribute this off for the ritual, and then use it to add it back, which is pretty good. But this card was, like, insane all day today. Like, people don't understand with, and we'll get there with my hand trap lineup, but, like, I made it Flawless and Droll. So there's a lot of times they'll end on, like, weaker half boards. The Voiceless deck just eats alive, because, like, a half board, and you draw this, it's like almost guaranteed win. Because if you like play it all after this, they can't do anything. Like it's just too much for them to do. So, and then yeah, speaking of hand traps, this is the lineup we decided to go for today. So 3 Ash, it's like the best hand trap. Like of course you have to play it. 2 Imperm, again one of the other best hand traps. And this is where it kind of gets a little decisive. So I played 3 Purge. People like to say like this card's like not nearly as good as Impulse, and like I would agree, like it's obviously not as good as Impulse, but it is like very high impact, and it won me like a lot of games today. Like this card is just really good, and the pop effect actually came like once or twice today, which is like really sick. So I love this card. Like I think it's like mandatory to play in Voiceless if you play the deck. And then we played 3 Droll. This card was very good. Again, it's like the same thing. Like obviously, if you draw this with another hand trap, you're gonna like stop a lot of their plays, if not all of them. But like a lot of times they just end like a half board, and then if you just draw like a good amount of engine, like you can crack their board really easily on their half board. And like people will say, well, what if I draw this with like Flawless, right? But the problem is like, okay, well if I know I'm playing a deck that loses to Flawless and I drop this, and they don't have the out, like I'm cool with that because they're either gonna just pass or give me like 2 or 3 draws. And then I still have this in hand for like turn 3 if I can't kill them, because it's not always guaranteed you can kill in this deck. So this is like really good assurance. So like the conflicting draw thing is just like not real in my opinion. Like I literally never was a problem in this deck. It was never a problem today. So yeah, and I think 15 hand traps is like very important in this deck because the best hands you have are the hands that are supported, or the fields that are supported with like 1 to 2 hand traps. So obviously Furos doesn't do that, which is like the one downside of the card, but it's just like too good not to play the card. So. And then for engine, for like the continuous plus such, we do 3 barrier, 1 blessing, 1 radiance. I love this card, but like, dude, this card's like literally the best. Like, such good support for the deck, and people like still complain that they think get no support, but like this card does so much for the deck. Like there was a game I had today where I retaliating C by Memento opponent, and he literally ended on just like one set pass. So I retaliating C, like obviously I had to get rid of that. So I went ahead and normal summon low, and then went ahead and grabbed barrier, and then barrier placed it and add this to place. And I already had Skull Guard in hand. So what I did was I just linked off the low to All Mirage, used this effect to add back the low, and then linked off the IP and the other monster I had for SP. SP banishes set as Chainlink 1, and then Blessing is Chainlink 2. Or, I'm sorry, Blessing is Chainlink 1, SP is Chainlink 2, which was insane because it turned out that the set the guy had was Impulse. So I was able to banish his Impulse and then Ritual Summon and have my full board plus SP, which was like super, super dumb. Like, it was crazy. So, yeah, I love that card. And then obviously the 2 ritual spells and the 2 pre-preps. I think 2 is like enough of this. Like, you don't want to clog on it too hard, and especially like, it depends on the matchup, but there's a lot of matchups I actually side the second one that's out, which seems really weird, but like, it's just a card you really don't want to draw, so it just makes sense. But like, yeah, 2 of this is good. Especially when you're playing like the Deer and stuff too, like this becomes very searchable with Arrow Arclight if you need to as well, so. So yeah, main deck's 42 cards. It's like a good number. I don't think playing 40 is correct in that deck because there's just too many cards you just really do not want to see in your opponent. But you do want to keep like relatively low because like there's stuff like low and stuff like obviously you want to see. So there's checks and balance. So the extra deck, actually very important in this deck. So you play 1 All Mirage, 1 Secure Gardener. Sometimes you'll hard draw Maximus and you can just normal a name and then link into this and then banish for the Maximus. Like that's always good, but like you can do all the blessing combo stuff with this too, and that came up a couple times today, which is always sick. Anima, this card is like an ultimate skill check for people that play in the column, which is hilarious. IP and SP. Hilariously, none of these came up today. Which is kind of weird because it normally comes up more, but with Nadira it makes sense, right? Like, I'm just prioritizing using the trees effect instead of doing this, so. And then we do 1 Dynamondo. I think I summoned this 1 time today, and in theory it should have won me a game, but I got sacked, so I couldn't do anything, unfortunately. And then for like Nadira targets, we have 2 Ventus, Arclight, Rura, Ferigi, and Omega. So there was like a lot of contemplation like what the target should be for this. There was a point in time where this was like Grand Granol and I'm trying to think of the other one's name, the Synchro. So we would do that obviously and then get a free negate, which is really cool, but getting card advantages deck I think is just too good. And this is also how you beat like branded in decks like that if you do it in Deer Servant, so it's really good. So I have no complaints about that after that. And then we had Meteor Burst for the Phantom Graph, Chaos Angel, just a good giant body to go into, and then Python. Any of these count today, this count a few times. For the side deck, really pretty self-explanatory. Card's like really good. Retaliating C. I only sided in twice today. It came up against Memento, was like a turn skip, like I was mentioning earlier. And then I sided in against Azumina, and unfortunately, like Azumina's Snake Eye, and unfortunately, they didn't see the card, which kind of sucked. But I know that card like cooks that deck, so. And then 1 Magnemite, and then 1 Nibiru. So the logic behind this was with the Magnemite, like it obviously grabs through Engine, and it's just good in any decks like lose the Bystials. And since you can grab Engine, like it's just worth the play with 1 of. The 1 of Nib was there because we played the 6 Mold Charmies. It's a regional, so like if you happen to play a deck like Dark World, Plants, 6 Samurai, stuff that just like, I've played enough Master Rule to know, like if you drop like Maxi or like any of those type of cards on your opponent, instead of just like passing, they will just summon as many times as they possibly can, try to deck you out. So this is like just a check to that so you don't get decked out essentially. And then you just win because you have like infinite cards in hand. I actually sided in like 1 time today against Sharks, because like the guy I played on Sharks, he's actually like, one of the guys I test with, and all the lines he did played like really badly in the Nib, so I was like, oh, I'll decide the Nib. And then of course I like drew it off of Perulia, which is hilarious, so it just like cooked him, which is pretty sweet. And then just like uncalled by 1 Duster. I don't think I would play this card like YCS level or anything, but like a regional, it's just like good coverage for like weird back row decks, which unfortunately the 1-stun player, like I still lost to today, so I guess I didn't really do that much, but, and I called by just called by. 3 Judgments. This just checks like all the board breakers, and this is like a really solid generic going first card, mostly for Tenpai, and like again like it creates 1 like weird stun matchup stuff too. So I like the card. I have no complaints about it. And then 1 there could only 1 answer spell. This card is insane. I'm like bordering on if like Tenpai starts taking up with no top representation, I'm just gonna main deck this card. Because I just like you see this card, you like what? And you're gonna omni-negate every turn with there could be only one. Like you usually can't lose the game. Like it's just stupid. And then like anti-spell is just like really good. And like all people asking, doesn't the card drink in your deck? But like, bro, if I'm placing barrier and blessing, those are like the only spells I need. Everything else after that like doesn't really matter. So like this hurts them like way more than it hurts me. Even if they do happen to crack my board, because like I can go like full fall with this barrier and blessing. So. But yeah, that's a deck list.
And what do you think about the new format so far?
I love it because you can play this deck and like do well with it. Because like I had multiple people today like try to flawless me, and I'm like, sure, like just draw no cards. So like your game one is actually like, really insane in this deck, and especially against Tenpai where like they're always making you go first almost game one, or I guess if you know they're on Tenpai you can make them go first. But really, every time you play Tenpai you're going first game one. You have Pendulum Craft, which is just like really good against that deck if you hit the mirror burst on field. So I like it. It's a really good mid-range option. Like this and Centurion, I definitely think are like the sleeper picks in that format. So.
Heck yeah, and any shout outs before we leave?
Yeah, shout out to my brother Anthony. I wish he could have been here today. Love him to death. Even though you don't play Yu-Gi anymore, come back to us. Shout out to Landon Oliver and Christopher LeBlanc. Those guys are like my homies. I do theory with Landon constantly, like hours on end, like all the time. And he's one of the few people who actually like listen to me like rant about this deck. So like I love that. And just shout out to all the homies at like Ghost events and Nerds Kingdom, especially them. They put on this whole regional. It's like sweet event. And yeah, just shout out to everyone to play Yu-Gi-Oh with. I love this game. So.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.